And just like that, folks, I think we are live. What's happening, everybody? This is episode 161. You might hear a little bit of a rasp in my voice. I am trying to fend off the best that I can, either a cold or something coming on. Maybe it's hay fever from this like extreme weather conditions, eh, Joey?
Oh yeah, it's hot out your way, right?
Dude, today was crazy. It said 109 on the thermometer. I don't think I've ever
Th-
seen 109 out here.
This is the hottest week this summer or this year, wouldn't you say?
Definitely so. I can't
Yeah.
believe it's like it waited. Normally it's August that this happens, but it's happening in September, so it's totally backwards. I don't understand it. But you, my bro, and our guest tonight, we got Scott from Versus Tires, founder and owner of Versus Tires on the show tonight. Can't wait to get Scott on the show. But you guys were on the islands, like total different weather pattern out there. You guys were living it.
Oh, dude, I had an amazing trip and Scott had an amazing trip. They unfortunately didn't cross over, but we both spent some time in Maui. Um, I think he rode my plane home that I took out there, which was kind of got to see him in the airport. But
That's
he
awesome.
was giving me tips all week because I had never been to Maui, and I think I followed all of his tips of places to stop and food to try, and found the best shaved ice on the island. So it was
That's
epic.
aw that's so awesome. And literally his hotel was close to the house that you stayed at.
Yeah, like I could see his hotel from the balcony of the house, which was
Damn.
crazy.
We'll have to get
Yeah.
Scott on here too, because from what I understand, you stayed at a baller's house. Baller.
Yeah.
Trail Pimp's house. It's probably Trail Pimp's house.
I was very fortunate. I had no idea what we were doing or where we were going, and it just kept getting better and better and better. So it was
I
pretty
can't wait
nice
to
trip, I must say.
That's awesome. I can't wait to dive into it. Well, this is great because I have been writing, you know, different areas, different terrain, and I've been on different tires here for the last year. And a lot of the folks around me are on Versus tires,
Yes, they
and
are.
it's been cool to see. I definitely have nothing bad to say about the tires that I was on, but I do have a lot of good things to say about Versus Tires and Scott, the owner. So, without further ado, let's get Scott on the show, and let's make sure we say what's up to everybody that's out there. We see, I see Trail Pimps out there. He says, "Let's go." MTV Sheen Queen with her patented caca, caca. She says, actually, it sounds more like caca. Caca. Yeah, you got it, Joe. You got it really good. And then for the folks that were on the show with the Cali Protective people, she actually won a brand new helmet, but then yet defaulted the helmet because Trail Pimp just had a big crash, and Trail Pimp was able to get the helmet. So that was awesome. She was just asking here, did you get your new helmet? And Trail Pimp said, yes, I did. Fits so good. Never had a helmet this nice. Thank you so much. Stoked on it. Dude, that's awesome.
Hey,
That is super awesome.
before we bring Scott on, can I show you what happens if you don't ride Versus tires?
Yeah, let's see it. Oh God, here we go. Do you have something keyed up? Oh no.
Possibly.
Oh no. Kim saying Joey got it.
There
Oh
we go.
boy.
Wait, there you go. That's what happens if you don't ride Versus tires. He's okay though. He survived.
let's see again. What is he on? He's on the Maxis.
Yeah, we won't mention that brand, but yes.
Oh yeah, there
You
it
see
is.
that? He just went down
Yeah.
for no reason.
That's what happens. That's what happens. You definitely those accordion wall
Oh,
tires, those side knobs are
other,
are definitely key.
and I'm totally like walking all over the show right now.
No, no, good.
But our friend Tony, he's okay also. But
Wait,
is this a good day or a bad day?
is
Because
Tony
look at that. That looks like a good day right there. Like he's ridden the mountain, he's gotten his everything on him. Like
Tony looks like he's in a movie right there, like a apocalyptic movie.
yeah, that with a little clown in him. Like a little
He definitely said, In the caption there, it says, "Things didn't go as planned today, but I'm feeling lucky. Nothing was broken. Park City is great, and I live to ride another day." Yes, and yes, I got
Yeah.
it on video. Ooh.
I don't know. That looks like a good day to me right there.
He does. Yeah. Oh, Tony, I hope you're doing okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That's funny, Joey. Poor Tony. I haven't seen Tony look like that in a while. He looked a little disheveled for sure.
right, right.
The outsider out there in Utah getting it at Park City. Machine Queen with the verses. Okay, here we go. Let's
Yeah.
get the creator of this tire out there. This is like for the folks listening on iTunes and Spotify. If you've ever been riding with somebody who has versus tires on, you're guaranteed to get stopped a handful of times during your ride, and people are always asking, like, "Dude, nice tires. Whose tires are those? What tires are those?" It's like always a thing. It just it always happens. So I can't believe there's not a lot of other companies that are have the colors, but not just the colors, the way these tires ride. So let's get the man, the myth, the legend. Let's get Scott on here and definitely say what's up to Scott. Here we go. Yo, Scott.
Me. Hi.
Aloha, bro.
Aloha.
Hawaii 5-0.
Still feel I'm close enough to being on the island to say that and not feel too weird. So
Right.
Like you and Joey just got back. You guys have a different shade of brown on you. Feeling very
I'm
relaxed.
peeling like I don't know if you can see it, but I think my wife's like her hobby right now is pulling my peel off. But
Oh.
yeah,
I'm convinced in the island they sell tourist different suntan lotion than the locals. Because that stuff
I wore
does
a
not
shirt.
rub in, period. Like
I wore a shirt like every day. Well, no, it's weird about that, right? So like I wore a shirt every day, but like 2, and I was good until the last day. And then I was like, I'm super pasty still. So I'm gonna get some sun. So we put on this thick white lids full like Arkansas,
zinc.
not Arkansas,
I think
whatever,
it's
like
solid
the zinc. And then we're okay, let's reapply. My wife put it on, and then I'm pretty sure it didn't work at all because then I just got cooked in like 2 hours. So
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
but it was
I
good.
think
It was fun.
I think it's their way of like pointing out the kooks on the island or the tourists. They're like, oh,
I'm pretty
yeah.
obvious out there that I'm not a local. The people are so nice though. Like it was so rad. Like that place is just amazing. I love Maui.
So fun.
Yeah, Tim Haley here saying, "I lived in Hawaii. LOL. The trick is to not wear sunscreen."
Yeah.
FTC Queen says, "Reapply every 90 minutes, I think, for sunscreen." Yeah, I heard that before too.
Yeah, you're supposed to one of the I did a business accelerator with San Diego Sport Innovators, and one of the other companies that was in my group, I think some big company bought them, but they made a sticker that you basically put on, right, and wherever you want to put it, and then once it changes color, that notifies you have to change your reapply sunscreen.
Oh, no way.
Like, they're like 50 cents or 20 cents or something crazy, like, but it was a really cool innovation.
Wow. What is the I don't even know. I didn't even realize that. I mean, I thought you popped it on there and you popped it on there. It was all day long. You rubbed it in and I didn't realize that it evaporates or whatever it does.
Yeah, like
stops
it wears
working.
off after a couple hours. So yeah, you have to, otherwise you get
Reapply.
worse. Like I was not, I mean, I've been sunburned worse, but it was an uncomfortable flight home.
Really?
Especially wearing a backpack through the airport racing because I was late.
It's like rubbing on your back.
We get there and like Joey's like, "Is that your flight?" And like the end of the line, there's like 10 people left in line. I'm like, "Yep, we gotta
go." You guys pass the baton.
Yeah, literally, like our trips overlapped like 20 minutes last week.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
we'll have to
awesome.
plan better next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, did you guys get to ride at all when you were in Maui? Was there any mountain biking done at all? Or was it just like relaxation time?
There's amazing riding there. I didn't get to because I don't know if you follow my Instagram on my story. A couple months ago, I broke a chain, and it was kind of the final straw for my shoulder. So I get to have surgery in the next month or so. So I'm kind of off the bike. I've ridden a little bit, Joey, at the bike park.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of those things where I can feel like my shoulder's about to go out. So yeah. So I'm kind of bummed. I just had an MRI and they're like, "Yeah, your shoulder's jacked." Like you have to have surgery. We have to get you a surgeon.
Oh man. What was the final thing? Was it like the tendons just tore?
It's it was torn labrum. Like I already had it from like literally 30 years ago when I lived at Mammoth snowboarding and motocross and all the stuff I've done. But I snapped the chain and it just dropped me down right away and just it popped out. And now it's like I don't have like this range of motion anymore. So
Oh, geez.
I saw that. Yeah, the Cam Zink is out there building, and he's building one of the bike parks, the West Maui Mountain Bike Coalition or something like that.
Yeah,
Which
the guy
Ray
you
is
put me in
doing.
contact with said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Damn.
it's like it's right there, right by where we were staying, and then they have a bunch of other stuff like the trails that everybody I've met that's from the island say that Maui has the best trails, and the stuff I've seen is insane. So I can't wait to get better and get out there and ride. But no riding this time, unfortunately. But I got to do lots of swimming and snorkeling and kicking urchins and things like that.
You kicked an urchin? Oh God, no.
Yeah. Like our second day, I was like treading water to help my kid get his goggles back on. Like at the end of the day to swim back in, and I kicked an urchin, and it wasn't good. Don't do that.
Ooh.
I'm just glad we didn't see that shark that you sent me. Like that shark was literally like 300 yards down from the beach that we were snorkeling at.
Did you read like I saw it too, because I saw some spearfishers out in the Pili when we were out, and they use like a buoy to hold their fish. So someone said like it's just a shark eating their catch, but it's still gnarly.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Yeah.
Nuts. That was
the tiger shark just goes up and like that's like a floaty thing, just a thing. And Joey's like, that was like 300 yards from us.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Instagram for that, Joey?
Clark Little.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Who's
If you don't know Clark Little, follow that guy on Instagram. His brother was Brock Little, professional surfer back in the 80s probably, and Clark is a photographer that you've probably seen his work in every restaurant.
So gnarly too. Like getting worked.
He just gets in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a tiger, whatever, a huge tiger shark just having lunch.
Right there, like waist level.
Yeah. Like a snorkel zone. Like someone's like spearfishing below that.
Yeah.
Like you can see even though, yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh man. Going back to the shoulder, MTV Sheen Queen saying, "Oh no, shoulder injuries are the worst. Wishing you a speedy recovery." And then she says, "I tore my labrum in both shoulders. Right needed surgery, left isn't bad enough. Not that I ever want to have shoulder surgery again." Man.
Yeah, I want my shoulder to be good because it's like I can't really even throw football or catch with my kid. I'm super sidearmed. But at the same time, I don't like, when is a good time, right? When are you like, oh, I don't want to do anything for 2 months, but
right.
So yeah.
But
whatever, it happens.
Tim Haley saying labrum surgery sucks. LOL. Well, the recovery sucks. Had my shoulder rebuilt twice. Damn.
Nice.
Chopim saying I almost separated my shoulder 3 weeks ago, but was out riding the following weekend. Yeah, that's what we hope it will be. Something quick and easy for you. Kim is saying it's the worst. My recovery took a whole year. Take care of your shoulder, folks. Yeah. Dang. I guess when it comes to something like that, Scott, like there really is no good time. You just gotta get it done. Because the moment you get it done, like that's the day faster that you start the recovery, right?
Yeah, and like what's hard, it's all soft tissue, right? Like that's even with when I did my heel, all my injury is all the soft tissue damage from basically my foot dislocated. So my heel's fine. It's like my ankle hurts because it was in a million pieces. But yeah, it's just kind of, at least it is what it is. It's like whatever. If you ride bikes, if you do anything fun, you're gonna get hurt. So
right. Oh my gosh, there's always dirt.
How long did it take for the ankle to heal?
Oh, I couldn't walk for 3 months. It's still getting better 8 years later. It's but it was I've had 3 surgeries and I had 60 therapies, and I probably would have had more. I have to have another foot surgery eventually, but like I got lucky. My surgeon, he's like head of foot and ankle at University of Washington now, Dahlstrom. And he like I went to Mammoth and I'm riding bikes, right? So it's kind of crazy. So we go to the Mammoth Hospital, which is apparently super good. If you ever get hurt there, their
Best
surgeons are like,
hospital by far the
yeah,
best.
that's
I'd drive there in a heartbeat.
yeah, so I'm in there. I'm like, well, I guess I'm getting surgery today. So we wait like 3 hours for the surgeon to get out, and he comes in. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, where do you live? San Diego. Goes, all right, yeah, we got a guy for you. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, this is a super special thing, and we have a guy that does this. So then I went to talk to him when I had the thing, and I'm like, do you do this often? He's, oh yeah, this is like a pet project of mine. I teach other surgeons how to do calcaneus. I'm like, well, I got the right guy, you know.
Wow.
But yeah, like that's not a good. Don't do that ever.
No.
No.
I'm gonna have to talk to you after the show about this doctor because something's going on with my foot, and I don't know what.
Yeah, he's great. He offered to do Brady Tweedy. Did his like my doctor's like, that's bad. That's like yours. He's like, he offered to have if he can get to San Diego, I'll do his ankle for him too. It's
wow.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it happens. Like that was just bad. That was just Suedo's luck, really. So
yeah, just bad luck. Like how did it go from
bad? Yeah, I wasn't on my heel I wasn't going fast enough for my bike to the wheels weren't doing the gyroscope. So my tire just kept going sideways and sideways and sideways, and I was going to high side into a tree. So I had to I tried to hop, and my surgeon is like, you rolled your ankle so hard that your cuboid pushed your calcaneus, your heel, pushed it off the back of your foot.
Oh.
This isn't a bike injury. He's like, this is a car injury or falling from a 3-story building. He's like, nobody does this on bikes. So
he's not seen us ride bikes then.
Yeah. That was just frustrating because it wasn't a gnarly run. Like it's something you could ride on a 140 mil bike could do that part where I got hurt no problem, and it just was just bad luck.
Damn. It's always those trails too that seem to bite us. I feel like it's kind of like we're just, I don't know what it is. Are we relaxed or what? Are we just not paying attention?
Yeah, it seems like that's most of my injuries are like what it's like I'm not really going for it. And I kind of was, but like I said, it's like we stopped at the top of the hill and I was going through that section with half the speed I normally did. So but the bike was riding different, right? Like, and I hadn't ridden that trail that much that weekend or in a while. So it was like the line was different than I was used to. And it just was bad luck.
Damn. Do you still have any residual effects from that injury, or is it all taken care of and
it's
gone?
Mostly good. It's like the like I said, the soft tissue hurts if I walk a ton or if I have to walk on like uneven surfaces. Like I did a bunch of roof work in the crazy rains that we had last year, and that walking at the angle, like it hurt the next day. But for the most part, I'm good, right? Like,
yeah,
you're like this part of my foot it didn't heal like perfectly like this, right? So it healed a little bit like this. So like that's called your metatarsal crown. That pushes down a little bit, so I have to wear like a little pad. But I mean, for the most part, I'm fine. Which is like, I'm lucky because that's a like could be a life-changing, like not as bad as a spinal cord injury, but that's could be something where you're not able to do what you used to be able to do. And for the most part, I'm totally fine. Like when I'm riding bikes or doing anything, I don't feel it. It's afterwards I feel it.
That's the thing that scares me the most. Like when we talk about injuries, when we talk about people getting paralyzed from our sport, people getting spinal injuries, it's like, man, it's not like it never happens. You hear those stories and you hear them from people that are close to you. You're just like, whoa, how?
One of my best friends, like Scott Youngstrand, if you guys know motocross at all, Sleet Dog, Michael Sleater, his older brother, he broke his neck and this is in the 90s when we were obviously a lot younger, but it was on a 2 foot long double that was like 1 foot tall. Like it was nothing at all. And he just didn't have enough speed and was like, just got there and was just warming up and playing around and just didn't endoed on something and just didn't think and like hit his head and broke his neck. And like, he was supposed to be paralyzed. Like the doctor's like, hey, you're not walking again. And now he works at KTM. He's like a mechanic. He's a supercross mechanic.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
those guys are busy. They travel.
Those he's like, I never get to do anything with him because he's always gone. But yeah,
so. I know. Yeah, my neighbor across the street is a supercross mechanic. He does the engines, and I had no idea that those bikes, every time they go out for a warm-up lap or whatever, come back, it's a new engine. Like Constantly
the
being switched out.
16s, yeah, it's gnarly. They're like $20,000-$30,000 engines. Like,
That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Man, we have a couple questions here. Trail Pimp's asking a couple questions. And
Oh,
Sheen Queen's
sorry.
saying her foot hurts now because of all the talk about her injuring the feet. Trail Pimp's saying, does Versus make bike park tires like 2-ply?
yeah, we had the gravity
Oh.
casing is like we call it a 4-ply, right? Like it's like 4 layers, where a trail tire is 2 layers. But yeah, the gravity casing is a 4-ply wire bead. And then the newer one that we have, the pink and the teal ones, is an enduro casing, we're calling. So that has like extra layer on there. So that's a folding bead, but there's an extra layer. So that's a 3-ply. And then
Okay.
the trail casings are 2-ply, which is like a normal mountain bike tire.
Got it. So 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I think he had was there another question there, Joey, that he was
I
asking
think it was
about?
pretty much the same. That was pretty much the same.
Same question. Okay. Yeah. What was the best Versus DH tire for loose park riding? What insert do you recommend for tires? And what
I
insert
mean,
do you recommend for tires? Oh,
we've had good luck with Tanis. People run, people run like Cushcore or even Huck Norris or something like that. The kind of cool thing about ours is they still have the woven layer in there, so it's almost like it's a helps puncture protection, but also helping with air seepage. So it's almost like, say, an EXO DH tire. So it's a little bit of combination. Is more burly than a normal one. So like if you do an insert, especially like a thick, like a DH Cushcore or something like that, it's already a kind of stiffer sidewall. So there've been people that go straight out and then they don't take time to get used to it, and it's not as pliable as, like, say, a Maxxis or one of the other brands. So you can usually get away with a little bit lighter insert, but even then, like, they're pretty burly. Like they're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Do you even need an insert? Like, knock on wood, I've never flatted on one of your tires.
In most, I don't want to, like you said, I want to jinx myself, but there's
Right.
not a lot of complaints of that, especially with the DH tires. Like, the only complaints I've really heard are if people do the full on gnarly DH cush cores in there, and then even then it's more just a little bit of it wears away some of the woven layer, or the Versa layer, which has the air that keeps the air in. So then you might get some seepage, but for the most part, it's not an issue. Like, that's one person said that once. So
wow. Scott, like, can you take us back to how this whole idea even started? Like, where were you and how did this start? Like, how does someone just go, I want to do tires?
So, I worked in design and branding and bikes and action sports and snowboarding and everything for 25 years. I did, like, the Shadow Conspiracy BMX logo and tons of stuff for Adidas and Burton and Pink Bike, and even Pink Bike and Vital. I was trading them t-shirt designs for 5 years before I even knew I was going to do a company. I just didn't know what. And I was giving them t-shirt designs like, hey, I want ad credit when I get my company going. And then really what it was is the ankle, when I blew my heel out, I was on the couch watching Rampage, and it was the same one where Aggie hip checked that rock and broke his hip.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I was all looped on Vicodin and everything like that. But I was like, why isn't there a YT of tires? Why isn't there a direct or even a ride around type tire company? So, and then I kind of called my contacts and the people that I knew from, all the people that I've worked with, and they're like, yeah, we can make you tires. So I just started that, kind of got the idea going. And then a little bit later, I just started, I was with my kid. I did nights with him. So I'd put him down and then I did the tire company, right? Like from 2 to 5 o'clock in the morning for the most part. It was waiting for his next feeding. And then sent the tech pack off to the factory, and just kind of took forever to get samples, and then just kept going. Really, it's kind of like, why if they can do it, why can't we, right? Like, and it's just I've learned since it's because it's very complicated, and there's a lot of things more than just having a factory make a tire. But at the same time, like, why can't we do it? Why does it have to be a giant company that only makes airplane tires and bike tires and car tires? Why can't, riders make their own company? Which again comes back to like, the skateboarding, snowboarding, BMX routes, where it's like, that's how it is. Like those smaller brands, like guys do it and make their own thing and, find a factory to do it and start their own brand and do all like that.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like a lot of definitely like the skateboard realm. A lot of the skaters came up and created their own companies through too. And then you with the tires. Now your tires are also like different than other tires. Like one thing that I remember when I was riding Versus is that there is this thing called the Versus hum. And it tells me that I'm like literally right around 20 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour when I'm like hitting certain jumps like a velocity. If I hear that hum, I don't have to look down and feel my speed or look on my little tachometer to show me how fast I'm going. What is that hum? And has other people said this before? Or am I crazy?
Like I've heard that. You're not even the 10th person to say that. Like that's something that people often talk about. I think Sean Swados was the first one that mentioned that to me because he was one of the first people that rode my tires, like before I even could, because my heel was still messed up. But it's just a common. I mean, tires. There's so many different things that are going on, so it's a combination of different factors. It's probably the ramping combined with the shape angle of the knobs and the accordion fold and all that just works together. Yeah, to get the hum. And a lot of people, like you said, they know if they're going that fast and they know they have enough speed to clear the bigger jumps, because you're 21 miles an hour on a mountain bike is a pretty good clip. You're going pretty decent speed then. So
yeah, and it never fails. Like I hear that hum, it's like okay, I'm right at it. Let's get this. It's a thing. And then with the the whole thing about the knobs and the accordion fold, can you educate us a little bit about how you came up with those? Because that accordion fold is definitely something that's been very cool about the Versus tires.
yeah, that's just like something I just thought in my head, like let the front of the knob kind of conform to the terrain, and then have and not have it go all the way through the tire so the back can grip in, which I didn't know if that was going to work. I mean, I kind of have an engineer mindset and industrial designer mindset, but in reality, I'm a graphic designer, like, so I have that way of thinking, but I didn't have any background to prove it. And then when it came out, it totally worked, like, and it's just, people are stoked on it. And then just little things, I thought that the ramping and the way that most of the angle, there's only one kind of perpendicular angle on that tire. So my theory is that's what lets it roll really fast, is there's not a lot of friction that's slowing it down from spinning fast. And yeah.
Wow. That's pretty
because that's
cool.
everyone's first comment is the rolling speed on those. Like everybody I've talked to is like, these roll so fast, and then and then they notice in a few weeks, like the woven layer in there holds the air really well and they don't have to pump them up all the time.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. That is definitely a true statement because I still had
yeah. There's that
there they are
accordion. There's
right
a good picture of that accordion right there.
right
Yeah.
there. There you
Yeah,
go.
so like that's say it's rolling left, so the front side of those knobs kind of conform to the terrain a little bit, and then it works. Like people are stoked on it.
Yeah. I mean, these are all things. And then the one thing that we noticed, and not talking bad about any company, but just kind of like saying it the way that it is, Joey and I have noticed out on the trails that a lot of people will roll up on Maxxis tires and they're leaking from the sidewalls. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
as
ahead.
far as mine go, that's the factory, and that's just that woven layer that they have in there that does a really good job at air retention. It's just, I mean, I think it could happen to anybody. It could happen at different times, the different manufacturing styles. So, but it does seem to happen more with some tires than others. But like, there's a good example of my graphic design skills, because that's all Photoshop.
Oh wow,
Wow.
I thought that was a real tire. Damn, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's a real tire, but yeah, the woven in there, that's all fake. The rim cutaway is all fake.
Oh wow, damn. Damn. That is something that I could say too when I was on your tire, Scott, is that I was getting lackadaisical on checking the PSI.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I
I
mean,
would, yeah,
yeah, people are like, I set him on Friday, like, the kickstand said this. He's like, I set it up on Friday and I don't bring a pump with me because unless I blow my tire out, it's not going to change enough to matter. Right. As
Right.
long as
yes,
your sealant's good and everything's set, it's not in a day or two, it's not going to be any different.
yeah, yeah.
Even
It's
Sky Park,
crazy.
right? Like I'll go up there after not riding in 2 weeks or whatever, especially my shoulder, and like throw like 3 pumps in just to be safe, and then it's generally good.
Yeah, dude, I had the YT Jeff seat like hanging on the in the garage, and I hadn't ridden that bike in months, and I took it to Woodward to do some like jump, trick stuff into the foam pit, trying to learn stuff. Had the Versus tires on there, and they were still up. I had to add some air to it, but man, they were not flat. There was enough. I could have ridden them the way that they were, which is crazy. And I remember that's something that Joey used to always say. It was like, dude, I'm getting lazy about checking my PSI with the Versus tires because I don't have to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's some.
Definitely.
If you go to the events like where I'm at, like a couple of those tires I haven't touched in a year. Like I put them in, I set them up, a little bit of sealant in there, and like literally since last October, I have not touched them. The blue sample, the blue 27.5 sample, has not been touched since last October.
Damn,
Or maybe in April or something like that. It's a long time.
damn, that's a
But
long
that's
time.
obviously a sample tire is just sitting there. It's not getting beaten. It's not. There's not different things that are happening to kind of make it to affect it. But it's just a really cool feature that my factory had. Really. So
Yeah, that's.
I want to answer this one, Mark.
Oh
Go ahead and
yeah,
read
go
it.
for it, Joey.
Go ahead
The
and read it. Yeah.
question says, the real question is, are Versus tires easier to seat? I damn near threw my back out trying to get Conti DH tires on. Ended up returning them and going with some kind of enduro trail casing instead.
So we went up to Sky Park once, and I picked up a set of Versus tires and installed them in the parking lot in under 15 minutes. And with the Versus tire, I don't even put the sealant in. I'll take the valve core out, put them on there, pop the bead, pump them up, pop that bead, make sure it's set nicely, and then I go ahead and let the air back out just slowly, and then I put the sealant into the valve, put my valve stem back in, and it's good to go. Like they're so easy to see. Probably the easiest tire to get on and off
Damn.
quickly.
Damn. There you go. There you go. And then going back up here, we have Tim Haley saying, I ran the gravity casing for years and never flatted a tire. Trail Pimp is saying, my buddy the Miltonator swears by Versus tires. Also, Graham Aggie is a cool dude.
he was like, yeah, that was like my dream, right? When he wrote and it said that he was interested in riding the tires. Like, I'm have to get more to him, but it's like, dude, you're the number one guy on my list of who I'd want to be on my team if I had a team, So
Right? Right? So
he
yeah.
also commented on the fast rolling. I see you highlighting that. He's like, these roll so fast. He's like, it was just kind of cool to hear someone like Aggie say that, because still it's like I'm just a normal dude, right? Like, so it was kind of really cool to hear someone of that level saying good things about what I did. Like he
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not making tires for Aggie. Like I would love to, but I'm making it for normal people like us who like to ride bikes and want to have something a little bit different and something cool and maybe save a little bit of money. Or like
Yeah.
even with the whole, the frequent buyer program and all the stuff I have too, it's like I'm not trying to build World Cup tires. I've had people asking, like, hey, can you help me with my team? It's like I'd love to, but that's not what I'm going for. Like
Right.
it's maybe eventually someday, but as a small brand, it's hard to like get that going. Even with the bikes online that I was helping out for the loose riders, Ian, that was hard for
Yeah.
me to kind of get them enough tires for what they needed because their program got really big, and it's like I was
Yeah,
kind of
really
set
big.
to flow 5 or 8 people, not 15 or 20 or whatever ended up being on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they got big, talented, fast.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, Sheen Queen there saying definitely fast rolling for sure. We got Trail Pimp saying I'm currently on Victoria Max 2-ply, but want to get a set of Versus 2-ply. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've never tried Victoria. Have you guys ridden Victoria before?
Yes.
I haven't. I've heard good things though. I know that Christian Pepper was riding them, and he has their tires on some of his bikes and Versus on some of his bikes. So, um, yeah, I've never ridden them though.
Yeah, definitely. Um, it's definitely a difference when you come over to Versus. There are some things that you'll notice right away, which is really cool. Sheen Queen is saying I was previously on Viterio. Sheen Queen is saying I was previously on Vittoria Mazza, switched to Versus Trail in June and haven't regretted it once. Love these tires. Yep. There you go. Yeah, and I've been with her when she's been stopped and asked, and there's been plenty of times that she's been stopped and asked. I think when she was racing in Canada for the the races out there, she was getting a ton of people asking her about those tires. So that was cool. Trail Pimp is saying is the best way to do tubeless setup, Joey. Yeah.
Oh, I stumbled on something.
Did you? Yes. Teddy Parker's saying gonna have to try him this year. Just got a new hardtail, and that will definitely need replacement from stock. Yes.
I think your number one fan is my wife, Scott.
There we
She's
go.
Oh yes.
She's a newer mountain biker. She's getting into it. She's been trying quite a few different bikes. And her number one complaint anytime she tries another bike is it doesn't have Versus tires and it's slippery and I can't control it and it's all over the place. So she is 100% convinced and sold on the Versus tire. It's awesome.
That's super rad. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's my company, so I'm going to say good things about them, but they really
Yes.
do work good. Like there's a lot of stuff in my trails and other trails that I've ridden where I was used to. Before I got hurt, I rode all the time, and I knew where things would slip, and I knew where things would get weird. And then once I finally got back out on my same trials with my bike, with my tires, it was like, oh, I didn't spin out there. I expected to slip. But it's like you're able to punch up little things, and it just grips, So
right. Which is, I think it's pretty cool coming from a novice, like somebody new, that she can tell a difference when she's riding on a Versus tire versus another company that she's slipping around on, and she's not doing that on a normal on your tire, which is awesome.
Yeah, that means that. See, like that's the kind of stuff that keeps you going, right? Because like this whole business thing is very, very frustrating and very difficult, and a lot of sleepless nights. And you get the Instagram DM like these are rad, or like I read my Yotpo, that's like the review thing, like best tires ever. Goodbye, Maxxis. Thank you. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to figure, like this makes it worth it, and like it's gonna work out when you read all this rad stuff from all these super rad people that are super supportive, and
Yeah. Speaking of that, here's some stuff right here. You had the Lone Wolf on there. It says Versus tires have a reliable and predictable feel with plenty of usable traction. After several hundred miles of testing, we found the wear to be on par with other high-end tire offerings. You can simply say that the design, construction quality, weight, and overall ride characteristics of your tires are comparable to other top-tier tire options. You also had a nod here from Vital MTB. These are quality mountain bike tires with tech that matches up against any other. When you lean into the cornering knobs, they rotate ever so slightly, creating a better angle of attack and a broader contact surface. That he's talking about the accordions right there, right? The accordion knobs. Yeah. Then Vital finishes off by saying they are premier level products for people who ride often with all the qualities that we look for in a proper mountain bike tire. The only thing he didn't add to that is, and it doesn't break the bank. Doesn't break the bank.
And those are both like launch day, right? Like, so Pink Bike, those are my launch day reviews. Pink Bike had a set too, but it was during COVID, so they had that Pond Beaver thing, and that was like, I told Vital, I didn't have my website up, right? And I told Vital, like, hey, wait till 4:30 in the morning to put the review up. So I finally got a website and everything going, like finalized. And then I read the review and freaked out. It was like 4.5 stars. Oh my gosh, like it's gonna work. So like that was and then Lone Wolf was the same thing. Like they both did it that morning, and then it was like it went crazy from there. But that was because a lot of this, like especially at beginning stuff, it's all in the dark. I mean, 20 people knew that I was working on a tire company until those things came out.
Wow.
So yeah,
the one thing I like too on your tires, when you transfer your weight into a corner, there's it never slips. It's always traction the whole time versus some of the other tires. I said versus some of the other tires. It'll literally be like a breakaway point before you get on the sidewall. Like you'll fill a
Yeah.
slip and then it'll catch, and yours just transfers right into it.
Well, that's even like Cole Swados is like, I've known him since he was in the hospital, like the day he was born. Like Sean is his dad, is like my best friend. So he's a world, he raced junior worlds for United States USDH, like whatever, 7 years ago now. But he said the same thing, like at a bootleg. He's like, I know it's going to break, but I know it's going to catch. So I don't worry about it. And that's like Cole Swados at bootleg is like warp factor 9, like only ace top Cole there. So
yeah, cheese grater type of environment out there, bootleg Las Vegas area. Yeah. Good grief. And
didn't you have someone ride bootleg too with no sealant in their tire?
Yeah, that was I did a few of those out there, and the dude blew a tire on the first stage in the enduro and came in. He's like, "You got anything?" I'm like, "I do, but I don't have sealant." And he's like, "All right, let's try it." So I installed the tire for him, like you said, in the parking lot. I'm like, with the whatever drips of sealant that were on his rim, and he finished the rest of the day. Like, did it fine.
Oh my god.
So that's like you said too, as far as like how do the dual ply work, like or the 4-ply, like it worked. Bootleg, if you've never been there, is just daggers, just death everywhere.
Yeah.
And they do really well there. They hold up. Yeah. At least the 4-ply, like you want gravity casing there for sure. So
yeah, that's crazy. When it comes to like the tires they're launched, they're getting out there, people are excited about them, but then like every company has something that kind of, there's something that you can't foresee that's some of the struggles and everything versus what has been some of the struggles that you've come across.
I mean, the COVID thing was just that I launched with COVID, right? Like I've been working on this. I sent my tech pack off in January of 2018, and I launched, I launched in whatever January 2020, and then like it went up on Pink Bike and everything in April of 2020, but that was right with COVID. So I launched the 29-inch tires, the yellow splatter. I ordered my 27.5s in May of 2020, and I got them in May of 2022. And they were fully paid for in October of 2021. So it's like, and that was a lot of money.
Wow.
And it's like, and then it was 7 months late.
That's right.
So, but that's how it was. That's just, and it's hard for me because I was small. Like, thankfully, at the same time, I still do graphic design. I still do logos for Tom DeLonge and all these other crazy brands and stuff. But it's, everybody, that's why all these companies are in such bad shape right now or going out of business, is because now they're coming back around, so it's just, that was for sure the most difficult part, figuring out manufacturing or having, that was difficult, but the timing was just, that was not ideal.
No, like I think I remember, Joey, there was like some jokes that we would make, like maybe we should just like get a boat, like a little pontoon boat, and then get out to the cargo ships and grab everyone's stuff and bring it back to the mainland.
There was, I mean, my stuff, I forgot there was stuff that was sitting there, and I took my kid to Disneyland and I counted like 14 freighters through when I drove through Camp Pendleton. You could see them sitting off the thing, and,
just all waiting.
Yeah, I was like, it was just gnarly. It was just a mess. And it's just like, and that's just how it was. And then like the same time, my friends that do 5dev, like that, they took advantage of that situation because they could get the raw materials, and they that's how they started their brand, was during COVID. They launched their brand in my booth, and I let them share my booth at Sea Otter, the next year. And now it's like, they're obviously, everybody knows who they are, but they had the crazy manufacturing capabilities and just ran with it.
That's so crazy.
They could get the stuff, no problem.
Good timing for them. Yeah. A lot of people love the 5dev now. They've grown fast. Very fast.
Crazy. Super like literally, like my neighbor is like the guy that basically put that together for them. Like he lives 5 houses down from me.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So it's like, you think about our random street as like a good chunk of the San Diego mountain bike world is a little Hills of Vista.
Right? Yeah, Tasco out there, Versus out there, 5dev. Who else is out that way?
I mean, there's Fluid Focus, and there's forgot the other suspension dude lives out here. Yeah, Nesterov lives like, or used to, at least across the way. There's a lot. Then there's YT right up the road. Haro is kind of here, but they're not really.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to get back on mountain bikes, but Zoic is right there.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot, and then Goop, Tomas from Goop.
Yes. Right there. Was that what's the chamois, the really nice high-end chamois? Is it out there too? Is it Nexus or Nesium?
Yeah, Nesium. He was here, but now I think he moved to Utah.
Okay.
But yeah, he was in San Marcos, so he was right down the way.
Gosh.
Yeah, and then there's Elio and Sock Guy and like Broad mountain bike and Broad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot here too.
That's right.
Are you talking Gordon Yeager, Velio? Is that what? Do you know that?
Well, I saw the Eliel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's more like roadie / gravel dude stuff, but like they're here, and then there's like the Cervelo team and like a bunch. Like my neighbor, like Leanne she was one of the founding people of Yeti when it was in Orange County.
Wow.
And she's like, dude, she is gnarly. She's like, she races like gravel stuff now, right? And like whatever, Belgian waffle ride, like one of the biggest gravel races you can do. And she's, I don't know, 60. I thought she just turned 60. So she'll like get, 6th in women at like the biggest like gravel race there is.
Still got it.
Yeah, so that's actually she won masters at cross country a couple years ago at Sea Otter, and like, but she said my tires, these are the best tires I've ever ridden. I'm like, well, that means a lot, right? Like, only my neighbor is super cool, but like you have history and like, and but the nicest lady, friend, neighbor you could ever imagine.
Yeah. What I love about you, Scott, is like you're so laid back and cool about all this stuff, and everybody's like promoting for you. They're just like, oh damn, this is like, they're always talking about your tires being so good, which is awesome.
Which means a lot, right? Because it's it's like I don't have the budget, right? My design skills and my network I can punch above my weight, but my entire budget for Versus is like a rounding error for Maxxis. So I need all the help I can get, and I appreciate it all. But that's it too. Like that was part of the idea, was like, it's because I ride bikes, and like this is for all of us. It's not just me. It's just fun, right? Like, and it's why not do it, and why not figure it out? So it's just give it a shot. And it's like, and then as far as like comes some of the positivity and stuff, it's like everybody can win. Like it doesn't have to be us or them. It's just go out there, and if you like my tires, great, that's rad. But what's more important is you have fun and you're out there riding your bike and just having a good time.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
it's literally Scott versus the Giant.
Right.
It's not a coincidence that is the brand name, right? Like, and it's David versus Goliath, and if you've seen some of my early stickers and stuff, it's like versus the mountain, versus the trail, versus yourself, versus the dentists, versus your friends. And it's like, all that. And it doesn't have to be even challenge everything. It doesn't have to be like you're going to win the race. It could be you want to do a long wheelie, or you want to climb that section you never climb, or, clean, whatever, ride down the trail without crashing in some section. Like it's just, challenging yourself and to have a good time and just do your best, really. And it's like, even with my kid, like I tell him, like he races BMX now, and it's like, wins in BMX are very few and far between, and as long as you do your best and you try hard and you hopefully improve, then that's all we can ask for. So it's like it's done a lot for him in that sense. And it's like, even mountain bikes is the same thing, right? Like you race very often, unless you're Swados or Nesterov or one of those guys, but it's just doing your best. And like that's what you have to get stoked on, is like you did better than you did before, and you've progressed a little bit. Like I was telling him, he did BMX camp with Dale Holmes. It's like, who's become a friend of mine. He's like multi-time world champion, super cool dude from England, moved here, and like he did a camp with him during the week, and all he did is ride bikes, right? Like he's 7 years old. They rode bikes all day long in San Diego BMX. And it's like, and I just did the ghetto timing of my thing, like, okay, you crossed this line at this time and he finished at this time. I'm like, dude, you got 8 seconds a lap faster this week on a 1 minute track. Huge. Like, yeah, that's incomprehensible how much faster that is, and it's just like, but he felt comfortable and he just loved doing it. So I was like, it's really cool. Like, and that's just the whole challenge yourself and just have fun and just get out there, and we're riding bikes, you know. So how rad is that?
Right.
Right. Yeah. It is cool. It is cool. I had a question here. Teddy Parker saying, sorry if I'm late to the info. Looking at the site now, do the Enduros have a ship date for all black? Only seeing the LTD colors.
Those will probably be in spring. We got backed up with the whole production thing and them getting the teals. Like, I'm still waiting for more of the teals and pinks to finally get on a boat from my order that was supposed to be here in May, April, March. So in reality, that's probably a spring thing. Like, when, you know, February, March, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And then speaking of like February, March, things in the future, also looking at some of these pictures here, pretty epic. You've got some pretty epic people on your tires there, Scott.
Yeah, that's McNulty. Like, dude, he rides Rampage. He rides trail casings at Rampage. Like, he was the one.
What?
Yeah, he's like, but he also weighs 112 pounds or something crazy. But he rides a full BMX style with Cushcore at like 50 pounds, and just
Damn.
runs it all. But he's
Wow.
rad. He's a super cool kid. He's on Canyon. Canyon's done a few things, like check out him. He's a really good dude. Lives in Bend and in Virgin like half the year. So he's probably moving like Virgin pretty quick now. But he's a
Wow, yeah.
Rampage alternate. Or no, was he a Rampage alternate? Yeah, I think he was a couple years ago. So
Damn. Yeah, he's probably going to be coming to Virgin soon to get ready for October, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, yeah, there you go. There's another big rider right there.
Yeah, Ryan Rodriguez. He's not always on the tires, but super good dude. That's like the nicest guy ever. It's like he's just a super rad, positive person. He threw on my tires the black gravity casings, and then went and rode White Line like 10 minutes later. Him and Remy did it at like 300 miles an hour. Like, it was insane, dude. He's never ridden the tires, and he went and rode so fast on White Line.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. When it comes to stuff coming up in the future, what are we looking at for Versus for the future?
I mean, just more colors, more tires. I'm working on a wider tire that people have asked for. Dirt jumper tire, because I want to ride my tires at the bike park down the street.
Bradley Park, baby.
Yes, if you guys have not been there, you should come. It's amazing. The county, the city, the mayor did an amazing job and let Schneider Grading and Bubba and Eddie Reynolds like do what they do. And it's such, like, everybody I tell that's building a bike park, like Ray, I said you should come out and check that out because they did such a good job.
Yeah, that park is awesome. I've only been once, but I got to get back there.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And there's like, it's all separate, right? Like, because I have a 7-year-old, so I'm worried. You know, like at some of the other parks we've been to, where it's like, what if he gets offline and some dude hits him, or what if some other guy gets offline and hits him? It's like, it's all separated. There's not really anything to worry about. It's really cool. It's a great
zero cross traffic. Everything's running.
Yeah. I like how the green line is like way over there to the right by the fence, and then the blue line is like by the black line, but they don't cross at all.
Yeah, like they're still far enough apart where like it's not really, you'd have to get really offline to go from one to the other. You know, it's not, which is really cool. And,
that place is so rad.
Like, it's for me, it's just like, I'm old now, but it's like, man, if this was here when I was younger, like I would live here, like literally. What's weird is I almost lived in those apartments right next to there, and like the 90s, my friend and I almost rented one of those apartments.
I drove by it today at 2:30, and there was like one person there, and I was like, "What? This is awesome!" And then I realized it was like 95 degrees.
900. It's like literally
900 degrees out there, but it's a dry heat. It's a dry air dryer.
They need to put like it's a Temecula pump track. They have like that shade, that big awning thing. They need to do one of those of some. I don't know if they can, because it's like, it's an old dump, so they can't put any hardscape in. But maybe they could figure something out. Put a big tree in a pot or something, like.
That'd be cool.
That would be really good. But yeah, that place is
a big difference.
I love that place. I need to go back there.
Yeah, we gotta do some barbecues out there. Barbecues and rides for sure.
Yes, all for it.
Definitely. Trump is asking, how about Louis Enyo Bike Park? That place is pretty rad.
Yeah, I haven't been here yet, but I've heard really super good things.
You know what's fun about that is like when you get into the shuttle, everyone's bike goes over the top of the back of the truck, right? And you can, Joey, how many bikes were packed in there for like one shuttle run up to the top?
Oh, I don't think it's like that anymore. I think that was the opening weekend. I
Oh.
think they had like 20 bikes on each side.
Right. We had like 40 or something bikes. And it was cool because you could like look at everyone's bikes and then you were looking at the tires and you're just, I'm like blown away how many Maxxis tires there is always at these places.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
it's just
they, I
like,
mean,
how?
when there's like, I think they still have 40% of the market. Like it's like when I started, part of why I started this was like they had 60 something percent, at least of like looking at the Vital survey. What do you plan to buy next? It's like, it's generally half. And then
Wow.
they sell their tires for super cheap to OEMs, like crazy cheap to OEMs. So they're spec'd them. That's why they're on like all of the bikes, is because they're able to, they make them themselves, right? So they can sell it for a quarter profit or whatever it is, just to get the volume and get it, because so many people too go in there. I want what was on here before, right? And that's something
Yeah,
that's something hard for me to overcome. And that's where it helps, like you said, guys said, with all the people talking about it, having different colors and everything like that. It's like, oh, these are rad, check them out. Like, but like that's something you have to win people over, and you have to convince them to try it. And that was a huge thing with me when I launched, is like, that's why I had the 30-day guarantee and all these things. Is like, all right, if you don't like it, return it, which is like, I think in 4.5 years, like 6 people have done. There's barely anybody who's done it, like, which is part of it. Who wants to take tires off and return them and deal with it, right? But it's like, I still stand behind the product, and for the most part, like people come back, like Aaron Forjon, and I'm giving him a shout out because I think he's bought like 8 sets of tires or 10 sets of tires in 4 years. Like that's all he rides, and it's super rad. He's like, just got another. He just got a blue splatter like when they came in.
Wow.
The Gravities just a couple weeks ago.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I love all the colors. The splatters definitely get a lot of attention. Joey, you're going to say something?
Yeah, what's nice too is when you order tires from Scott, he personally delivers them right to your front door.
Well, if you're in North County, like that one, yeah, I think for your door, I had to sneak past someone because you live in the gated community now. So like I just drove in when they were driving out. But yeah, like Eric from Alan Ed's, I dropped him tires off at Alan Ed's in Vista, because he actually wrote when he first ordered tires. He's like, "Can I pick them up?" I'm like, "No, man. If I live close, I'll just drop them off." He's like, I'm like, "Wait, you're around the corner from me." So yeah, I still just go and drop them off, and like various people in the Vista, San Marcos, Carlsbad area, it's just easier, right?
Right.
Because I'm out there anyway, so I just drive by.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the first time he did it, he sent a photo of him dropping them off and texted it to me, and my wife saw it, and she's like, "Why is the mailman sending a selfie to you?" Oh, that's the best mailman on the block right there.
Right?
Because you don't know if people are going to get bummed on it, so you're always kind of worried, or like, and then I get worried too, someone's going to get porch pirated because there's no like proof that I did it, right? So,
right.
Right? You're like, no, porch
pirates. I hide them, like, I think your last place, I hid it behind the pillar or something like that, and like try to get crafty. And then I usually text them like, "Hey, I just dropped off your tires, or here or there." Just
it's pretty smart, yeah.
That's pretty epic. I remember Joey ordering them. He's like, "Dude, I think I'm gonna get them like today." And then sure enough, there was like a picture he sent me of you dropping them off at his house.
Yeah, I mean, for the like you said, like, yeah, if like Vista, San Marcos, Carlsbad, like that is kind of the area I'm driving around every day anyway. So it's like I'll just go drop them off.
Possibly Maui too.
Yeah, Maui. Like, no, I tried to bring tires.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I tried to bring 2 boxes of tires to donate to the mountain bike park, and we get there, I bundled them up, I taped everything so they could just use the straps to pick them up. And my wife's going to check in. They're like, "What are in these boxes?" She's like, "Oh, tires." "What kind of tires?" "Bicycle tires." "Oh, you can't ship those." Like, what? "Why can't you ship tires?" Like, "No, we can't. It's just new policy. We can't ship bicycle tires." So we're like, she's like, "Oh, well, what do we do?" She's like, "Well, you can't leave them here because we have to check them to make sure they're not a bomb, basically." So she had to wait at the gate, and your flight's going to leave in a couple minutes. So she waits at the gate for the police to show up, who opened up the boxes. Like, "These look really nice." She's like, "Yeah, they are. We're trying to donate them." And the guy's like, "Oh, well, I'll go put them in lost and found for you." And then it's like, and we like barely made our flight. I told I had pre-check, so I was able to go to the gate and be like, we're on our way. Like she's in, and told her story, and she's like, okay, no worries. Like super nice Hawaiian style, you know. But it was like,
Damn.
man, yeah, you can't bring boxes of tires on Hawaiian Airlines. Don't try.
Okay, no deliveries to Maui then.
So you're saying go to Lost and Found at San Diego Airport?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you could have. My friend picked him up from the thing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, check it out. Brett Hall jumped on. It says, hey, Mark. Hi, Scotty. Hi, Joey. He was rocking some solid teal tires the other day. I was riding with him out in Santiago Oaks. Mountain Bike Q&A. What's up, Johnny? He's in the house. Says, this is great. Met Scott at Sky Park. Solid kid.
I'm an old kid.
Oh, Scott, as far as like, purchasing tires, do you have anything going on right now? I think I heard you say something about a frequent flyer program or something like that, or a frequent buyer program.
Yeah, so we have a frequent buyer program, which you get a point per dollar or something like that, or whatever it is, and then you can get you want to sign up for that though, because you get points if you follow us on Instagram, if you write a review for your birthday, and there's all kinds of different ways. There's a referral program where I think they get $10 off and you get $10 off. It's either 5 and 5 or 10 or 10. There's lots of different ways to do it. It's all through the website. We're in a couple shops, but not really right now. In Dream Runs, Core North, and Howler out in Howler. Give them a shout out for their awesome Taco Cat shirt. Look at that thing. Boom. Dragon, super rad people. And my brother lives there too. So if you go there, you'll see my 7-foot tall brother riding his Capra with Versus tires on it. He's literally like, I'm the runt. I'm 6'3" and I'm the runt of my family.
Wow.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
6'7". All my cousins are 6'4", 6'5".
Good
I'm
grief.
the short, fat one at 6'3".
Dang. So that's cool. So definitely sign up for that. Go on the website, sign up for that, get the points, get the referrals as well. That's all really cool. Good ways to do marketing for that, get that out there and everybody wins. As far as collabs go, you have recently released pink tires. And I think last year too, you did something for charity. Yeah, you did a whole bike.
Yeah, that was
breast
we built
cancer
a bike
awareness.
for Keep Abreast. Which I
Yes.
don't know if you guys remember the I Love Boobies. I'm pointing
Yeah.
at my own screen, but that's Shaney Joe who's down there with the overalls. We did the tires for them and did the bike for them. We're working on the one for this year, but I don't know if you guys know this. The bike industry is kind of a mess, so it's hard to get anybody to help out. But we're hoping to have a 2024 bike again in the next month or so.
That is cool.
And like we're donating money from every tire of every Keep Abreast tires goes back to their program. Just a super rad organization. I've known her for 20 something years, and it's just all, help prevent breast cancer. Cause that's something, I mean, it's touched everyone. My mom had it. My cousin's wife, my cousin-in-law, who's like, I'm super close with, has it right now. Like, it's just, it's something that means a lot. So, like for me, that goes like, oh, cool. Let's make it. That was wild though too, because I just wanted to make a cool bike and make tires that like kind of benefit breast cancer. But then I got all these crazy emails. Like when we launched, it's like there's one guy like, oh, my wife just finished chemo and we went to Whistler to celebrate, and then came home and saw your bike. And there's like women there, like I had a double mastectomy because like my mom and aunt and sister all had it, and so I didn't want to risk doing it. And it's like, that's just gnarly. I'm like, I wanted to build a cool bike, and like it's just really impactful and really meaningful to help them and help that organization and just do something cool for bikes. And a lot of that's even like Juan Pablo Raba, like we were talking, and he's like, you should do pink breast cancer tires. Like, I know, Shaney Joe, like we could totally do that. So like he kind of set the ball rolling, and then just went bananas to get it going,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think last year was your first one, first collab with it. And I don't remember who ended up getting that bike, because that bike looked pretty dope.
Yeah, it's Jenica from Fayetteville, Arkansas. So she's pregnant right now, so it's in the YT mill in Bentonville. My brother and a few other people have sent me pictures like, hey, here's that bike, but it's like, if you're nearby, go and check it out, because that bike is unreal. Like the paint job that Technar did is like pictures do it no justice. It's amazing.
yeah.
And like all
Technar's
these rad companies like threw in, like that was just, hey, I had this random idea, and they all, Jeff and Jimmy from YT and out here helped out, and like every Magura and all these companies just kicked in. Hunter from SpokeX did all this rad stuff just to help out and make something really cool. And it was like, it's just an awesome, meaningful thing.
Yeah, really cool. I know my mom, she beat breast cancer twice. Beat it the first time, and it came back another time, like 10 years later. Got a double mastectomy. So yeah, it's affected a lot of people. I think it's like 1 out of every 4 or something like that.
Pretty. It's like,
pretty
it's
crazy.
really, it's too much, right?
It is. Yeah, it makes you wonder what is happening. What is happening out there? MTB Co-op just joined. He was actually, if you guys out there listening haven't had a chance, go over to Mountain Bike Q&A podcast on Spotify, iTunes. They just wrapped up, and they're over here now. MTB Co-op is asking, how'd you get into the bike industry, Scott?
Like I kind of mentioned earlier about it, I do graphic design, and that was just through my love of, like I was a kid that drew all over my notebooks in school, and I always skateboarded and snowboarded and rode bikes, and it was like I kind of worked in what I wanted to work in. Did a lot. I mean, I've done over 100 snowboard graphics. I've done a couple thousand t-shirt designs, and then just started getting into mountain bikes more, and just was like this. And I noticed all my old skate and snow friends are riding mountain bikes. This is 10 years ago now or something like that. So I thought like I should do some sort of a company, and then just had the idea to do this and use my connections and my network and my experience, building brands for Shadow Conspiracy. And I didn't build his brand. I only did his logo. He's a super good friend of mine, Ronnie. But using my experience from working for helping other people in the bike industry to just start my own deal. Like, just because I felt like it was an open space that needed kind of what I'm doing. It needed something fun. Like, why do we have to ride black tires? Especially when I started working on this, was before there was really even tan walls. Like you had black tires was your only option. So thought that we could do something a little bit different and fun, and kind of do something for everybody else that rides bikes. And like, really with Versus is like if worst goes worst, me and all my friends have tires for the rest of our lives.
When it comes to actually, like, for people, MTB comment right, he's saying right on, super cool, right there. And then Joey's just got up there, MTB TNA, saying, okay, but did you doodle the Bubble Infinity 8 thingy? If you know, you know.
I mean, I don't know what he's talking about, but yeah, I've done a lot of logos.
Yeah. I bet you did.
Yeah, I did the shadow. I mean, for the bike world, the Shadow Conspiracy, the crow's head logo. And that was, again, I broke my thumb. I don't know if you guys had to have surgery. And so Ronnie has a super raspy voice, like, yo, I'm stuck. I need a logo. I don't know. I have the name. I like birds and Hitchcock, and I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, how long? Can I have a couple weeks? I just had surgery. And he's like, I need it by Friday. Like, so I was like, super, like, I had to design with my hand in the air because I couldn't put my thumb below my heart. And that's why that was a lot of Vicodin, was really like connecting birds and Hitchcock to Edgar Allan Poe and the Raven. And I was like, oh, the Raven, a crow. So actually the Shadow Conspiracy crow is a raven. It's not a crow.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But yeah, a lot of that stuff. And then I've done a lot of stuff for Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, but I did his Angels and Airwave stuff. And
nice.
Yeah, a bunch of different logos. The Bear Mountain, they changed it a few years ago, but I did the Bear Mountain logo that they use it for 15 years or something like that.
Wow.
Stuff for Burton, Adidas.
Yeah.
Adidas t-shirts, which is super cool for me because I'm like an old skateboarder rap kid, like I grew up listening to Run DMC, so to do t-shirts for Adidas was just unreal.
Breakdancing days.
Yeah.
That's cool, Scott. That's really cool. And then when it came to the like putting the sliders on the tires, how did you design those? Did you just
to be perfectly honest, that's just from BMX. Like, that was something that I was like, why do they have the fun? Like, and then I knew my factory made a lot of the BMX tires, so they were able to do it for me. And it's just something that's just like, why have it like everybody else? Like, why can't we do our own thing?
Totally. Totally. And then if we were shopping right now, we're looking at your Versus tires right now. There's a lot of stuff that's on sale, I see.
And we have like there's the trail casings, the 275s. I had some problems with them, so they're like it's super cheap, like 3 tires for $75, 4 tires for $99. Something like that. And then and all of the tires too. I offer a discount if you buy a pair. So it'll show you, like, say it's whatever $80 for one tire, or $82.50, I think, of the splatters you have there. And then a pair of 29s is $150 shipped. If you're outside of California, there's no tax. So yeah, it's like
that's great, man.
Yeah,
that's
for like
great.
Comparable to, I mean, that's comparable to like an EXO Plus in DHR, DHF, whatever it might be for the trail tires.
Right.
And then the Gravities are like, they're burly. They're I mean, they're bootleg approved, right? Like that's a gnarly spot.
Bootleg approved with no sealing. Yeah. Joey, did you find the logo?
I believe I did. It's not a great, but it'll get the point across.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure I'm right here.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see.
Scott, did you design this logo?
Oh, the awesome S. No, that's like one of the best things ever. I saw something that talked about the history of that. That's just something everybody's doodled on their thing. Yeah. I wish I could say I did that. I did the shout out to Conspiracy Crow though, and that's pretty good. In the BMX world, that's where it's at. So I'm pretty proud of that one.
That's cool. That's really cool. Trail Pimp is saying for the tires, once you go black, you can never go back. Trail Pimp. Yeah. There is definitely also the splatters. I mean, the splatters get so much attention when you're out there. My goodness.
Yeah.
And now you have
No, I should say, yeah, I get it too. Like I know at Sky Park and stuff, people have asked me, and it's like, oh, well, I kind of have to say it's good because they're my company, but they do work good, you know? So it's like,
yeah,
I've noticed it too, you know, and that's, I always hope people buy the splatters because I know that people are going to ask about them. And for the most part, I know the tires work well and people are generally stoked on them. So they're going to help me sell, you know, they help do the job for me.
Yes, definitely. When you're a one-man show, that helps a lot. Teddy Parker is saying, let me know, did an amazing vid on that, trying to find the earliest source immediately upon posting a commenter posted an earlier source, LOL. Oh. Huh. Look at that. MTBTNA saying, Joey, well done.
No.
Trying to say, once you go teal and black, you'll never go back. That's awesome. Oh man, Scott, I know we've had you on for over an hour now, but is there anything about the tires we didn't cover that you want to share for the people out there listening on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify?
I mean, like, I think you kind of hit it where like it's obviously a ride around thing. Like you said, there's hundreds of reviews. Kind of weird. People, it's frustrating, but it's also really nice when people throw hate on them in general. And then there's other people that ride Versus that go and back me up and like basically shoot it down before like I even have a chance to read it, because it's people are generally pretty stoked on them, and it's like, and it's the community, and that I really appreciate all the help from everybody doing that, because it's a lot of work, right? And it's something I believe in, and I think that we could do well. Like it can continue, and it's for future stuff, we are working on new things, working on new treads, different sizes. Like I said, a dirt jumper tire. There's a lot hopefully coming next year that will be a lot different.
Nice. I know a lot of people, it's been interesting. I'm hearing a lot of people saying purple lately. Have you been hearing that too?
Yeah, purple's on the list for sure. Like that's one I've wanted to do that since the beginning. Like, and really, even these teals have been out 2.5 years. The original plan was to do 2 to 3 colors a year. So it was kind of got messed up with COVID, where it's like I couldn't get anything, and I just took whatever I could get. But yeah, so it'll be probably a new splatter color coming in spring. New full colors. I was supposed to have them for fall, but it didn't happen. Oh no, there's new splatters coming before that. Actually, there's coming there's a super limited one that's I was able to get the factory to make. But like I said, I'm still waiting for them to even get on a boat, so it's a ways out still. But that'll be good because I'm almost out of the teal. If you want the teal splatters, there's not a lot left of either of them.
Okay.
Any of them, the yellows, there's splatter. The gravities, there's not a lot left. The pinks, there's very few left.
Oh, the pinks, yeah. There's the splatters there in the gravity, and then the pinks we just had up right there. Now, wasn't it the first time you launched a limited edition of the pinks? I remember it hitting the market, and I think it sold out in like something ridiculous, like 5 minutes. Not even that.
That was. I mean, that was really the sample run that I did for these tires. There was not a lot, but yeah, it was like 4 minutes. And I told the email list that's something too. If you want to jump on the email list, I always tell them first they get exclusive discounts even beyond what I have on the Instagram and everything like that. But I told them when they were going to go up, and it was like whatever, say 8:29 a.m. and they were gone by like 8:34. Like they'd bought them all.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Which is like
going so fast.
I mean, that's my goal eventually to get to more of that level to where if I get thousands of emails, or I have thousands of emails, but if you get thousands of customers across the country like that, those limited super, like I said, the new splatter that's coming, there's no more than 100 sets. It's a crazy low production. Like, I don't know how I got them to do it. I think they felt bad for me and they had extra time, so they did it. But it's like,
nice.
Those will go quick. When I get them up, it'll be at least, I won't even have them for at least a month.
Everybody froze. Was it denied for you?
So you got to go for that new splatter. You're going to go to the website, folks, and then sign up for the email. That's where they'll be able to learn about it first, correct?
Yeah. The email list will find out. Like what I do with all that stuff is I pre-tell them the night before, like, hey, this is coming up, or a couple days before. This is coming really soon. If you're interested, check them out, and then it'll go up whatever it is, and then they go up.
There we go. There it is. Discount codes, updates, and exclusive promos. When you guys go on to VersusTires.com, it actually pops in on the left-hand side of the page, and you'll see it right there. First name, last name, email address, and then bam, join the crew.
And there's like, and I do codes with other companies too. Like we had one with Velocirax last year. We'll have various different ones. So it's like, I try, like I said, especially like I just try to get people stoked and get people out there. And I ride bikes, and other people ride bikes. So if I can help you ride bikes more, then that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Mark, that's a question that I get a lot, is the 2.4, and
not yet.
I don't. Yeah, there's no need to do anything different. You can't
like
tell.
people too will be like, oh, I only ride 2.5, and it's like, that's 2 millimeters, right? Like unless you're Gwin or Loic, you're not going to notice 2 millimeters. Like if you're on a 2.6, you would notice less float, and you're going to get a little bit of traction loss. But at the same time, the 2.4 as it is versus 2.5 rolls faster, but then mine roll way faster than that. So you're going to get so much more speed. It's kind of, there's pluses and minuses for anything. And then what some people do too, is you'll run a wider, say, a South African Spear named tire. That sounds kind of weird. Maybe you'll run that in front, and then a Versus in back. And Pink Bike, in the review, Henry actually mentioned that he's like, this would be great for a more disposable rear tire, where you can get two black gravities for $150 shipped. And that's like, and they're super good. Like the black gravity is a softer compound than the other one, so they're super grippy. And that's an excellent park tire or DH racing tire. Like I mean, they're a little bit heavier because there's a wire bead, but they're burly. So and for $75, like show me a $75 tire that's good, and like they don't exist, right? You can get some junk random garbage, the sale bin 2.3, like old tire that nobody wants, but that's not anything that's you want to actually ride.
Yeah, not very safe either. MDBTN is saying 2.4 is perfectly normal. Nothing to be ashamed of, fellas. Wait, she said. Mountain Bike Q&A is saying, love my Versus hat too, but Joey won't let Joey won't let it bend the brim. Yes, and don't forget, we have Versus has a lot of cool swag. I gotta say, I showed up to the bike park on Sunday. Steve Caballero and a couple other folks. Sheen Queen was there. We were all riding Snow Valley, and it was cool to see Steve Caballero in the Pedal and Destroy hat.
Yeah,
It's like he's such a rad. Like I was a full 80s skateboard kid, right? So like as it is, like that's unreal for me to like. I dropped off tires at his house, like Joey said, personal delivery. But
yes,
and then see him so stoked on it and wear that stuff all the time. Every time Cab posts a picture of his hat or T-shirt or anything like that, people buy stuff, right? And I can tell because I get a lot of Pedal and Destroy shirts or T-shirts or hats that are sold, and it's a really cool. I mean, that's kind of its own entity. But
yeah,
even the other stuff, right? Like people buy T-shirts all the time, and it's like they're buying that because they support the brand and the idea and what it is. You don't need a T-shirt, but like you need tires if you want to ride bikes. So like it means a lot. And then my wife, gets super bummed, not super bummed, but like we don't make T-shirts. Why are you doing so many T-shirts? And then she came to a Sky Park event and saw how many people bought T-shirts. Like, oh wait, I get it.
Yeah.
Like it's like like people. You don't need tires at that event, but especially if I have a new shirt, like they snatch them up,
dude, your hats too, bro. Your hats were going like hotcakes too.
Oh, that first, the June Sky Park event, like I sold out. I was like, they were all gone. Like I have to order more because I'm out of the camo Pedal and Destroy. But I'm by next week. But yeah, it's like and that's just something people have been bugging me about, and I just kind of drag my feet, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I did more. So I'm working on new merch right now. New tires. New tires have a super long lead time though, so I'll have more of those pink long sleeves soon.
Sold out, yeah. The Snake Charmer.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I know I had to think it was that June. I had to really snag a Pedal and Destroy hat for Kim because they were going fast. I think I may have snagged it at the same time a kid was trying to snag it.
There was like, that was crazy. Like I told her, I told Tara to bring up more because I was like, I sold all the ones that we had and it's noon on Saturday,
Right. Still had a whole day and a half left.
Yeah, that was but yeah, it's like it kind of speaks to, like a lot of it's tough, not really tough. It's like, it's just because I've done design, I've done T-shirts for all these brands. I've like, you've very likely at least seen, if not owned, a T-shirt design I did for a different brand. So like, that's where I'm able to make really cool merch and stuff like that because of just my experience in building, stuff for all these different companies.
Yeah, that's really cool. Here's a question. Trail Pimp says, and I'll let you get back to your family here. We got to close up the show here soon. But Trail Pimp's asking, what makes Versus, thought-provoking question, what makes Versus tires different and so loved?
I mean, I think, Joey said a lot, right? As far as like the splatter and they're easy to work, they're easy to get on. But then a lot of it too is like, it's a small rider owned thing. Like there's a couple other companies that aren't a lot bigger than me that are rider owned out there. But for the most part, all of the tire companies are huge manufacturers, multi-billion-dollar corporations. And it's like, people like the underdog. And then I'm able to tell my story and do all the different, use my skills and my expertise in making the brand that's likable and desired. And then they work good. So people are stoked on them. They're going to tell their friends that they're stoked on them. And everybody wants to be the kind of early adopter and like, oh, check it out. This is what I got. They check these tires out. They're splatter. They're cool. Or this or that. Or I met the owner at some bike park or whatever it might be. So it's a lot of my plan was a word of mouth, like, because I don't have millions of dollars to put into advertising. Like I've spent $1,500 advertising on Instagram in 4 years, so it's, but a lot of my plan was to do events and get out to these things and show people and get them in their hands and get people on the tires, and then they're going to tell their friends, and then it just kind of hopefully it would snowball, and it's worked pretty good, right? Like, it's still weird to me to go to like a Sky Park event. I keep mentioning them, but I do like it up there, and have people come up and say, "Oh, I've never heard of you." It's like, wow, like especially in Southern California, I don't get a lot of that anymore. Like I see people driving with them on my car. Like my kid and I were in Carmel Mountain the other day, and there's a bike rack with our sticker on it. And he's like, "Dad, a Versus sticker." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's so rad." You know, like it's still really cool to see, you know, like, so it's you know, it's chipping away at a large rock, but it's getting there, and it's getting better and better.
Yeah, that's really
Kim
cool.
says it perfect right here.
Pimp. It's something where once you've experienced riding on Versus tires, you won't want to go back to anything else. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I mean, there's Suedo said the same thing, right? Like, because he would get bikes from a brand, and he couldn't change the tires because it was like he was getting a free bike, and he's like, it feels like I'm riding through mud when I'm on their tires. Like, I feel yours roll so much faster, and like they work so much better. So it's like, once you kind of get used to it, and like that's a big thing too, where the few people that haven't liked them threw them on and put the pressure on like they were on their other tires, and didn't really tinker with them a little bit and give it a chance to get used to the variations. And then once they do, though, people are generally stoked on them. Like I said, people have outfitted their whole fleet of bikes with them. There's guys that have bought, you know, a dozen sets or something like that, if not more. There's quite a few people with a lot of tires. So it's just kind of keep going, you know?
Yeah. I noticed too, people that are not on the, like, when I wasn't on Versus tires, I was on another tire, and I did something, I burped it or something like that. It was always my friends on Versus that were the quickest to bust out their phones and film it. They're like, "Oh, look, Mark's having trouble. What's happening? Versus are perfect."
I remember that post, and I felt bad reposting him, but it was too good to not repost. Because, like I said, like I'm not throwing shade on other brands. The guy that markets for the brand that you were on is a super nice dude, and we've had ice cream together, and he's like a rad person. And I genuinely just want people to be out there riding bikes and having fun. If they're on my tires, it's great. If not, they're on something else. Like, I don't care. There's enough for everybody. There's different tires for everybody, and just like, let's just all ride bikes, right? Like, just go have a good time. You're outside, you're having a super good time. Like, let's just go do it.
Shocker, Mark's having tire issues. Versus are perfect. I do got to say, when I reached out to the marketing of the other tire company, and I just said, "Hey, like, I love the tires, everything. The opportunity has been amazing, but I really feel compelled to go back and just be part of the Versus team, help out my buddy Scott." And right away, the response was, "Definitely, go help Scott."
He's a rad dude. Like, he's It's like, I've seen him across the country at all these random events all the time. So it's like, he's, you know.
Yeah. He's in the trenches too. But yeah, man, I tell you, if you're not on Versus and someone's around you with Versus and something happens to your tire, out comes the cameras.
That's the community, right? And that's where it's at. And that's like, it's just, that's what I hoped would happen. And that's what has somewhat happened, you know. It's like, it's a, you know, a crew, like they call the email, this is the Versus crew, and people, you know, like, and I try to post, if people tag me on Instagram or tag Versus on Instagram, I repost it, because it's like, I'm trying to promote them as much as I can, you know, as far as promoting my company, because it's like, just everybody, like, just ride bikes and have fun. Like, unfortunately, another large company trademarked that right after I started using it, but I can still say it. So it's but yeah, like, just go out there and ride your bike and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen, I forgot who was the dude, it's that rapper guy, but he's like, just go buy a bunch of bikes and ride them around to your fence, the best thing ever. Like,
yeah, I remember seeing that. He's like, it's the shit.
Yeah, like, it's like, seriously, that's it. Like,
it's so
Golf,
good.
I think I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah. Mountain Bike Q&A is saying, you got to see my Versus tires install. Great ASMR. Haha. Teddy Parker is saying, needless to say, mad props for actually having fun with tires and colors, because coming from BMX, this industry can get so bland. Meanwhile, the riders are just as fun as BMXers. Yeah.
That's it.
So there
Tyler
you
the
go.
Creator.
Tyler the Creator. Yeah, his
Teddy Parker
company's
nailed
golf. That's what it, yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Well, dude, Scott, we've had you on hour and a half on the show. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast, episode 161 with Versus Tires creator and founder, Mr. Scott. Make sure you go on to his website, versustires.com. Sign up for the emails so that you can be one of the first ones to get some of these limited edition tires as well as discounts as they come out. You will definitely be the first crew to hear about it before the Instagram crew. So I definitely want to jump on and do that. If you're looking for tires now, there's tons of sales out there. There's a whole crew of people. I guarantee if you roll up to a trailhead and you see somebody else on Versus Tires, instant best friends. Instant.
Instant besties.
Right? Instant besties. Scott, thank you so much. Joey, appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, great to see you all out there. And hope to see you guys out there on the trails on some Versus Tires soon. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
See you guys. And end. Man, that's good stuff. I love it.
That was good.